I go on and on and on and don't take them to the crib unless they boning. Easy, call them on the phone and slap them Chanel cologne.
You down. Now this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me. I said this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me.
I go.
We could have had it all, 'cause that make me crazy. Rolling in the deep, you are so pleased. I remember.
In the first age, in the first battle, when the shadows first lengthened, one stood. He chose the path of perpetual torment. In his ravenous hatred, he found no peace, and with boiling blood, he scoured the umbral plains, seeking vengeance against the Dark Lords who had wronged him. And those that tasted the bite of his sword named him the Doomslayer.
Good morning, Doomslayers, and to anybody new that's just stopping by for the first time, I appreciate you. Welcome to the latest chapter in the greatest story ever told about the greatest show we've ever seen. We opened with a gap, we've closed the gap. It's all good on the 1 minute chart. On the 5 minutes we can see volatility is picking up a little bit. We've got a fight between the up and the down trend there. RSI is a spike. Nice to see that on open. Up to the 15 minutes. Getting very dangerously close to reasonable land here. Probably even close enough to turn on some drawings. Boom, boom, boom. Here's all the different formations we're in on the 15 minutes. Possibly an inverted head and shoulders. Possibly just this rounding bottom. Touches of divergence. You would expect to see this testing up near the top again. So do I think that this is a good time to buy? Yes, probably, but like it says at the top of the screen there, this is not financial advice. And to the left of that, you can follow along with my chart, right? You have to type that in, including the capitalization that's put there. If you want to follow along, you can follow along with my chart 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, completely free, no necessary to contribute to anything. In actual fact, there's a treasure hunt where I'll give you 10 grand if you find the answer, which on your quest you'll learn an awful lot about technical analysis and philosophy. You check out the subreddit r/Tradespotting if you don't believe me. And then on the left there you see we've got unreasonable.shop, which you'll all be glad to know if you want to stock up. I've got some new products. I'll just show you them here quickly. There's the definitive Tradespotting t-shirt. That's if you live in the UK, £304. It's a very unreasonable price. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear. If you live in the US, that's $420. And that's a fantastic t-shirt. If anyone sees you knowing that, they'll know that you're a very discerning, unreasonable individual. We've also got these wraparound leggings. They're fantastic design. I'm sure everybody will appreciate seeing these. If you see you in these, they'll love them. Look at that on the back. They're also $420, an absolute steal, completely unreasonable. Down here you'll see the Tradespotting pillow. You could have this in your home. If you're very discerning, you get a choice of different colours. That's only £1,566 if you live in the UK. That's a freaking bargain. You know, a home isn't a home without that. And then if you're going on your holidays this summer, you're going to want a fanny pack. And is there a better fanny pack in the world? No, there fucking isn't. So work away. There's tote bags, you can get them. They're a fucking bargain, £858, you know. All sorts of bargains on here. What's the absolute piece de resistance is the Tradespotting Infinity poster, and it's a bargain. If you live in America, that'll cost you, you don't even have to pay, you'll get it for less than 10 grand. So there's some things for you to check out, and I expect everybody will be buying them all throughout the stream to the point that I'll have just fucking shitloads of notifications and absolutely no way of getting to the TA. So there you have it, folks. D. Harker, a super chat at $4.99. Super Hands has let himself go. Bing bong. Shit, yeah. It's just, he's got quite an addictive personality. He has all super hands. It's not a good tune when he's when he hears one though. Pum 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 pum. Daniel has super chatted $5. I'm gonna eat that, Daniel. Thanks very much. You're a legend. Love you, mate. Matt Donovan subscribed 9 minutes ago. We've got some other subscribers, and that's everything covered. Awesome. Happy days, everybody. How are we all? I think Renzel should get a pair of those leggings. I'll send you one for free, mate. Just drop your PO box in my Twitter. Oh no, that's you can't. I can't. That's right, because like everybody you fall out with, I've had my Twitter disabled for 10 full days at least until I go through the stupid appeal process, which I'm obviously going to win because I didn't do anything fucking wrong, start to finish. And anyway, this is Banana Air. We're about 20,000 feet above all that past nonsense. Good morning, Jamie. Says Babash, how are you doing? Good morning over there, wherever you are, Babash. Where actually are you? I think you said you're in America at one point somewhere. So good morning. Cachicho, my man. Please tell me shipping is not included. I've no fucking idea, Cachicho. I've actually no idea. Asked me what price that I thought it should be, and I was like, why even asking me? It's so fucking obvious that this poster is $9,996, like that's, or 69 cents. $9,999.69. It says it on it basically, and then and I mean that basically. Did you throw up on Friday too? Lol. Yeah, I fell asleep on the toilet and threw up in the bath. I got it completely the wrong way about. That was a fucking awesome stream on Friday. I did the market open, as Rocky did market close. Then I jumped, like, after that our internet broke, so I had to go and rob internet for somewhere else. And then I jumped on a stream with TMI and Jackson Hunter and Rogue Legacy and Short the Vix and chatted to them. That was brilliant fun. Good stream. You should check that out. It's linked on the community tab on my profile if you want to see it. And say hello to those guys. They were very nice to invite me on. It was enjoyable. And then I was doing that as the Scotland-England match was on. Scotland were so unlucky not to win. England after beforehand were like, we're going to put 5 or 6 past you. And then basically like our midfield completely destroyed them, which is essentially what's happened on GME, and they were lucky to get away with a goalless draw at home. Everybody knows that, and everybody knows Harry Kane's a fanny. So unlucky England. Not that I don't love all you guys in the community out there in England, but your football team is so overhyped, it's ridiculous, and it's great to see Scotland doing all right. They deserve more from the match. That's like the fucking truth of it. That's the matter of fact truth of it. And you know, it's how else do you want me to put it, right? Let's see what it is, right? Constructive thought and whatnot. Well, do I really need that so fucking close? Probably not. And actually, it's covered in blue face paint. If you want to see any of those drinking streams, they quickly turn into something that need to be unlisted or members only. So we start off with them live so that everybody can tune in and see it. At some point, if you haven't already joined, you won't be able to because we flick it to members only, and then you can't see it back if you're like a negative person who would like try and use it against me, or Rocky, or anybody in that for that matter. Because we are emotional chaps, and so it's only there, right? So they're the only people that can see it are members of the channel. And if you're a member of the channel and trying to undermine it, then you know, two rights. I suppose you cancel each other out. So, pardon me. Congratulations. I'll be right there with you next time at Bing Bong Fest. Bad Mama Jamma. Bump bump. How's it going, Bad Mama Jamma? How is it going, my friend? What was I thinking just before that message came in? No, at that message, I was thinking, yeah, there's all these people talking about all these different festivals and ape conventions, and like, I don't know what's going on. Like, nobody's invited me any of them. So, I mean, if I'm not up there screaming on the fucking podium about the difference between right and wrong, what sort of ape fucking fest is it going to be? I don't know. You tell me. And this is like story. People say to me in the comments things like, yo, Jamie, you're too emotional. It's like, look, for a start, there's no such thing as being too emotional. Don't know who told you that. Don't know what you've been through. And I'm not sure what you're talking about, right? You can be overly emotional in certain situations, but that would have to be defined in retrospect as that emotions having negatively impacted your behavior, right? Just judging it to be overly emotional because it's like higher on a scale than somebody else's and then giving it negative implications means you're a fucking tube, right? You act like that in life, you'll get fucking nowhere, trust me. And so like there's the long and the short of that. And if you're a bloke out there that thinks that you can't be emotional, well, I'm here to tell you it's different. You can be as emotional as you fucking feel like, right? And nobody can tell you what to fucking do with your mind or your body. And then secondly, like, I don't let emotions affect my trading. I know that it's impossible to stop having them, and I know they will affect your bias. So I have a plan, I stick to it, I experience my emotions in the moment. Like, what's the fucking point in being alive otherwise? And I just don't let it affect my trading. How come? Like, how can you do that? Well, I've been doing it for fucking 20 years, right? You come back to me in 20 years and they're like, well, right, yeah, I know for the first while it was difficult, but I understand. And you could try fighting your emotions for years and think that they're not affecting your trading decisions when they are. And then you can go on the internet and talk about how other people are too emotional. Anyway, this is a story. This is an emotional journey. This is a political act. This is something that means a lot to us, to all of us, for different reasons and in different ways. And shout out to everybody there who's going through their own things, which there's so many of us. But this fest is when I come to you, Rocky, and you take me to a football game. Fuck yeah. Well, the football matches will be opening back up and that, and we'll go to a football match. That'd be brilliant crack. Only the team I support, Celtic, they're a bit pish at the minute, so we'll have to wait till they get better. Bad Mama Jamma. Maybe after the squeeze we'll all chip in and give them a helping hand. Mind you, everything will level up at that point. Wait, oops, that is 2020. Well, I'm an idiot. Sitting Bull, you're anything but an idiot. Thank you very much for becoming a member, Active Curiosity. Welcome to Chimp. Sincerely welcome. Desperately appreciate everybody who joins up as a member. It makes a big difference. Bad Mama Jamma with another donation. What a generous chap you are. We'll go to a football match. If we can, we'll go to Celtic Rangers. Man, if we get rich, man, we'll buy a director's box. Bad Mama Jamma, Frost Crest. Morning crew, morning Frost Crest. Alright, so yeah, their chap reminds me, someone out there who's actually doing a lot to learn and help other people learning on the Discord and interacts with me everywhere. I really appreciate it, Frost Crest. He's got contributes a lot to the options room on Rocky Outcrop's Discord, so check that out. I've got linked it in the description. And there's groups of different communities on there. You know, everyone comes from different places and different times in their life and that, so like there's rooms for everybody to talk about all sorts of different things, and it's a very welcoming community. And if you're not the right sort of person that's nice and will get on with people, even if you're a bit of a fanny, that's okay. You can be like, I like people that are a little bit of a dick, and I like people that are a wee bit of a fanny sometimes, but if you're a complete fucking moron, then you won't get on very well. But there's loads of rooms in there where you'll be able to talk to loads of different types of people and learn loads of different things, and it's all free, so you definitely should check that out. And then there's groups of other people that have been learning. Rocky's got like try to get 1,000 good traders around him, so you'll notice that there's like people that are leveling up their own learnings, and then they're contributing back in their own ways, and the whole thing's actually amazing. And then further on that note, like I was hoping that I would be able to contribute some way further as in a way that's manageable with my time, with like written DD that goes along with these videos. So like this morning when I woke up, I wrote that stuff out, and you'll be able to see it on r/Tradespotting, where it's like, you'll see the cheeky title. It's my TA for what is essentially the week, and then as we go through the week, I'll do that every morning, every day. I'll update with what's going to come in my technical analysis in the video later on, and you can ask me questions there in the comments, in the are they comments? Whatever, you can post a comment or a reply, whatever the fuck you call it. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? And if I see it before the video, then I'll answer it in the video. And somebody said, what does the OBJ mean, and why is it going like up as the prices are tanking? Please explain it to me. And I think what you mean is OBV, on balance volume, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And if anybody has any other questions, feel free to ask them in chat, and I'll get around to answering them if I see them, which I obviously will if they're like, well, I won't obviously, but I'll try to if they're, you know, highlighted the way they are. So, cheers. Everybody, the greatest is entered the chat. Cosmic didn't have to sleep on the couch. Lolly got dragged off it by who was it? Captain, as it calls his lovely wife, who's a really funny person and on his stream sometimes. Shout out to her, she's cool. And she had to drag him off stream, drag him to bed. It was brilliant at the end there. That was hilarious. Space Captain, hope you took a shower for going to sleep. Yeah. I think you got good taken care of well there. Anyone who has option questions, please reach out to me in Discord, because I have an ADHD fixation on these things. I'd love to help you, says Frostcrest. Well, what about that for an offer, huh? And anybody of any experience, pop in there, and if you can help contribute to what the good work Frostcrest is doing, because he's so fixated on it and like gets into the zone when he focuses on these things, then please chip in a little bit here and there. It's really appreciated. I know a lot of people in chat know a lot about options, and maybe you're hesitant to talk in group situations and stuff and just talk to me or behind the scenes or whatever, but I'd encourage you all to chip in there, because the learnings are brilliant. The learnings are brilliant, and it's all about empowering each other, right? And like any fucking fanny that goes in and says shit, I'll go tell them where to go fuck themselves. Yo, love, 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 love. Love will tear us apart again. Love. Love, peace and love, everybody. Yeah, no, I'm an optimist, mate. I don't really believe that guy was right. I mean, I understand that where he was coming with his emotions and that, and I completely agree with experiencing them and feeling them and that. But like, this is part of being a stoic, right? You're only going to be able to deal with this extremity of your emotions, should you let them fucking flow, if you also have a degree of resilience and are able to overcome hard times, right? Now, that's why having a fucking plan helps. And what does a plan constitute? Well, first thing it'll start with is a trading journal. So if you got one, and if you haven't got one, what the fuck's wrong with you? And why haven't I added one to the unreasonable.shop and that? And I could literally, like, I'm going to add one, right? And I encourage you to get it, right? I'm going to probably price it at $99,969, which is fucking absolutely fuck all compared to how much money I'm going to help you make with it. If you can't quite afford to get that yet, it's okay. You can just get a piece of paper and a pen, or even a pencil, or fuck it, you've got a computer or a phone because you're watching this, you can just use that. But I would encourage you to use like your hand and write it, so that you've got like a degree of kinetic memory going on. It'll help, trust me. If you don't understand why, watch my event psychology video, and if you don't want to watch it, don't fuck off. Like, don't bother, right? This channel's for people who are actually interested in getting better at shit, right? Not parasites who just want to make money off my TA, you fucking fannies. Right, and like, I obviously don't give a flying shit about all the things that people normally care about on YouTube, right? So you could like consider hitting like, or like, you could do what I actually want you to do, which isn't actually, like, I couldn't give two flying fucks about whether or not you like this video or click like or not, but if you want to, it'll probably help me. But what really would help me was getting me what I want, and what I want is a Ferrari Aperta. So if you want to help me out, buy me a Ferrari Aperta. Appreciate it, thanks very much. Like, you look them up on the internet, and then if you've got it, I'll come and meet you and grab it and say thanks. That's if you feel like it, do that. And if you're a hater, hate on me so hard. Hate on me, you fuck. No, serious, lol. Yeah, I'm serious. Spreadsheet? You could use a spreadsheet for your trading your trading journal, but then like putting anything on a spreadsheet means that you'll need to like come up with some version of an X and Y axes, which like isn't necessarily helpful because you don't want to be taking trades all the time or on any sort of particular timeline. It's entirely due to the things you see in the chart. So like I would urge you to like just get a piece, use a pen and paper, like, and if you're unable to do that and you have always learned via text and typing and that, which plenty of people have, and writing's like shite at the best times, then sure. But like the way I tend to do things when I'm writing is like, obviously I can think far faster than I can write, so I'll have thought about it a number of times as I've written it. Writing it will transfer it to like a slightly deeper level of consciousness, and also then you can read it back afterwards a few times, and like then you can not look at it and think about it, and then look at it and see what you've missed out, and then like that way you can learn about your own shit, right? And I would look at my shit I've written in my trading journal, literally many hundreds of times because I read it over and over back, right? Ferrari on the way, cheers buddy. Look, lol. This would be a good week for straddle play, in my opinion. Frostcrest, nice, look at that, says Space Cat. I'm getting some of that shit on the go. Yeah, it might be there's like lots of different ways you could do it this week being like the next 9 days actually, but like cool. Yeah, anyway, make your own decisions. LaFerrari Aperta 1.8 scale model costs $795. Well, that's fuck all. Like, that's literally fuck all. $795. That's nothing. Tradespotting, when Lambo. It depends. Like, sorry, that was a joke. I realised. Yeah. Yo, Ferrari for Jamie Rockets. Yo, yeah, Ferrari for Jamie. You can chip in if you like, you know. But ideally, I'd like 2 because I want to give one to Rich and Rocky. Because I feel terrible if I've got something he hasn't got and I'd end up feeling like guilty and giving it to him. So can you get me 2 please, thanks. And it sounds greedy or whatever, like, and if you think so, then don't fucking contribute. Yeah? No problem at all. When Rocky for Market Close. Hey Jamie, hypothetically, if a global financial crisis were to occur in the upcoming months, how would you invest to save yourself in this completely fictional and theoretical financial hellscape? Oh yes. The coming Money-mageddon. The Money-mageddon. The Money-mageddon. None of your money is safe. No matter what you do. No matter what you do, it will never be safe. Invest GME. Not financial advice. Yeah, well, I mean, there's like the short term and the long term answer. Like, what do you do during when shit hits the fan, right? It's like very difficult, right? We looked at a little briefly at the opening. We looked at the financial markets on Friday, and you could see that there was a flight to capital, right? What do we mean by that? Well, people were break that down a little bit, right? Shit looked fucked. People didn't trust equities or bonds. And what does money do? And what does people do with their money when they're like, oh shit, what am I going to do with my money? Well, the first thing they do is they liquidate assets, and then you've got cash. And what cash does everybody like? Well, they like the US dollar, so they do. And so lots of currencies were tanking against the dollar. In particular, it was the euro, and then subsequently it was like all the Asian markets. And so, short term, people put their money into the dollar, right? Because like, people who've said all sorts of shit, right? You've had people talk shit at you for years now, telling you that gold is a store of wealth, right? Gold's a speculative asset. Get the fuck out of my face with this shit, right? Bitcoin's a store of wealth. Get the fuck out of my face, man. You're serious right now? Yeah. I mean, which of those two protected you during the coronavirus dump? Like, fuck off, man. Like, you don't know what you're talking about, right? Nobody knows anybody else, and that's because there isn't a fucking answer. When everything tanks. When a rising ship lifts all boats. So what you want to do is you want to be in cash before anyone else is, and then you want to make use of that cash by buying the shit out of everything when everyone else is panicking. You'll have to sit on it for a while. Things will go down. But like, look, what does smart money do? Well, there's a huge speculative bubble in the housing market right now. What's BlackRock doing, paying 50% plus on the asking price on single-family homes and trying to buy up property? Because they're like, hey, you don't care if it's a bubble. We know what's coming, and that's like a market cycle. And how do you benefit from a market cycle? Well, you hold, you buy and you hold, right? And our erstwhile allies are buying the top and they're holding, right? So read that into that what you may about what you may or may not do with your cash. None of it was financial advice. A lot of people will try risky as fuck shit like shorting stuff. Slightly more sophisticated people will hedge their portfolios. And if you don't know what that means, like, I'm not going to be able to explain it in the course of between now and any fucking correction that's coming. So, and then the short term, like, so that's like medium term, right? Short term, GME is going to have like a negative beta. I've been saying this for fucking ages, and before my Twitter account got shut down, I was like, it was my favorite argument was telling people like they were an idiot for suggesting it was impossible or any of the shit they say. Like, it was like one of my favorite ways of proving someone was an idiot on the internet. So it's like, yes, GME is an answer in the immediate to short term, right? That which is like obvious. Also, you can tell like the way like how not just how it responds to like inversely to the SPY, and like when you compare like other assets that were previously deemed to be reflexive or highly reflexive like Bitcoin, and how it responds, right? And you see how GME doesn't like respond. It's got a degree in an inverse relationship, and that right, this is preserving people's capital right now. I mean, you might have looked at the last couple of weeks, like the last whatever, right? I mean, let's be frank, you might have looked at the last 9 weeks, right? The last 81 daily closes and been like, wow, freaking prices really love 220, don't they? Like, what the fuck? Is anything ever going to happen? You might have thought like that. But you look at the greater market as a whole, that has not been what it's been doing. You know, it's been far more volatile. So like VIX, that's like a measure of volatility created by the Chicago Board of Exchange. Chicago, famous for options. Volatility is an inherent price mechanism of option contracts. Zig, yo Zig, yeah, how you doing? Anyways, like, are you thinking about trading options on the old cryptocurrency? And if so, are you what website? And if I like Deribit, and what do you think of their interface and so on? Are you at that sort of level? And if not, happy to chat about things wherever you're at, whatever place you're at. So yeah, like, I'll get into these questions in a minute, right? Price action is doing fuck all, as I can see, right? Because I've also got eyes. 213.65. Welcome, Jamie, who's just subscribed 2 minutes ago. Welcome. Lovely name, Jamie. Love will tell us apart. Right, got that one. Yeah, and the only question I noticed from the Reddit was the one about OBJ, which I think means OBV, because I ain't never heard of no OBJ. So on balance volume, right? Well, I'll show you why it's a piece of shit and I don't use it, and why you'll literally never see me using it, because why the fuck would I use it? Like, I've got a volume profile here, I can get the visible range up with a different indicator, like, I know how to use this, right? And so I don't just slap on something like an indicator that represents one single aspect of TA that people completely misunderstand and then use it completely wrong. I don't do that. So let's just remove these for now. Holy shit, volatility is absolutely crushed. 15 minutes, there you go, we're in touching that level at the 210s again. Anything down here, you can see all these levels of horizontal resistance. I drew all these in on Friday. I went through exactly how and why you would add them and why they're at the places they're at, and they're all just as relevant today as they ever were. Subscribe, Ocean. Oh, is that the on YouTuber? No idea what you're talking about there. But if anybody ever needs to chat about anything that and you're feeling down or whatever, like, I'm always available on multiple different platforms. It may take me fucking ages to work out where I'm getting messages at, but like, if you ever need to talk to somebody, I'm always available pretty much. But I ain't got financial advice, but I can tell you everything will be alright if that's what you need to hear, which it will. This too shall pass. No doubt prices have increased. There's cash out there and things are opening up, so people are spending. Prices increase must continue to confirm the inflation case. Yo, J Stonks, yeah, so I've got like a different version of what I think's happening. Like the top levels of shit, like you'd be surprised how little's got anything to fucking do with money, really. But whatever, what do I fucking know? Nothing. Nothing. Swear to governor. Ain't got none of the debt on you, governors. Fucking, what was I answering there? I had a thought. Pondering. A muse. You are my muse, J Stonks. Right, so like, look, loads of people are worried about the economy, right? And that's because there's people out there trying to make you worried about the economy. And so, the fundamental driver of prices is speculation. That's why the markets were created in the first place, to allow that kind of thing. And there's various different types of markets, right? And depending on your level of wealth, the government has deemed, wherever you might happen to be, that you'll be entitled to take certain aspects, certain risks with your money. So most of you are retail traders because you have not got to the tax bracket where you'll qualify for certain types of private investment fund and whatnot. And most of the funds I would have worked on, the clients I would have had, very minimum, especially when I was working there, because they brought through new laws afterwards to make certain types of technology, like there's loads of different companies now you can invest in that you couldn't have invested in 12 years ago as a high net worth individual. So previously when I was working, like the clients that invested in the funds were like countries, huge fuck off multinational conglomerates. Well, they're banks of banks, private wealth funds, that sort of shit, right? Huge capital, right? Huge trillions of dollars, and but we don't get access to the, like we don't here this side of the fucking rich poor divide. You don't get access to the same type of investments, right? So and so you're not those investments you're not protected by the SEC. We've got like regulated markets to trade. Why am I talking about this shit? Long story short, inflation. But like consider the fact that inflation is because, like, people say like, oh, inflation is because there's too much money in the economy, right? But like that's so you can't be overly reductive with inflation, right? Like, you can understand it if you just go back to the origins of why the Keynesian system exists in the first place, and like the facilitators of world trade and like UN General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs. Right, you can go understand all this stuff, right? Google that stuff, you'll understand it in like an hour max reading. It's fucking easy, and you'll stop thinking stupid things like, oh, just because there's more money, inflation is going to go up, right? That's not the way it is. Like there's a macro economy that expands and contracts, and like you have to consider loads of different aspects of things, right? And while I would agree that like the current government practices may lead to an increase in inflation, which we've already seen like a most dramatic step up in it from what we've all been used to. On the other hand, like it's been like really low for a long time. The government is like quite good at managing their wealth, like despite like this general perception that they're like these stupid rabbit in the headlights somehow about the government. Is Jamie a bit quiet? Possibly. Can I turn it up so that I'm not any quieter? Yeah, I'll turn it up there. That's louder, right? That's way louder. Anyway, why the fuck am I talking about this shit? Well, generally speaking, there's like a degree of inflation coming down the road, but you don't need to panic too much, right? Because like there's so much oversupply, like there's so much capacity in the markets now that it doesn't necessarily lead to runaway price increases, right? So while the narrative like in future is like, oh, maybe this is happening, maybe this isn't necessarily that same sort of thing going on. But on the other hand, there is this huge thing going on that most people don't really talk about called this great inflation, right? And it's coinciding with what looks to be like a super cycle in the commodities markets. And also there's like there's been like mergers and acquisitions throughout the financial world over the past 20 years to the point that equities, there's far less money in equity, like there's far less options for retail traders, far less liquidity pools, and like you're being squeezed on so many different levels. It's like a huge change is coming, and so like you should really look into that idea of how to like hedge your portfolio, right? Whatever your portfolio might be. But with regards to inflation, like there's different ways it might go, to be honest, right? And it could take a couple of years too. And in that time, there'll be many, many little bubbles, like, right? And you don't want to get caught in any of them, because you know, most of us can't afford 10 years of like opportunity cost. He's got one, Ziggy's just a bit of a Luddite. What is it I've got? So 211 spot 52. Alright, yeah, I was going to get this OBV up and show you what the chat is with it. These are these levels of support and resistance, right? There's zones, really, especially the ones that are very close together. You can tell like that you would define that as a zone. And like down here is obviously like a line that I think is not that bad at all. Can't remember what I said about them all, but I drew them there for a reason, so. And it was me that did it. 211 spot 00 is quite a nice number, right? So the OBV was somebody asked about. Right, so why is it going up when price is going down, right? Well, the way this stupid fucking indicator works is if the price bar closes outside of the other one, right, of the previous one, it'll add on to the OBV thing, right, down or up, depending on which way the price went. So, like one candle bar will move it, like, so, zoom in here. It doesn't tell you much anyway. Some people might think, oh, this looks like the price action, so like it'll somehow tell the way the price action goes, and that's a stupid thing to say. That's not what it's for, right? It's like the way it's constructed is if this candle closes like outside this candle here, which it did, right, and then it'll take that and say, right, well that we'll add that to the plus side, and then it goes up, and it goes up by like the distance that was relative to that one. So then it'll add on what looks like a chunk, and so like prices don't actually have to go that high. They just have to finish like above the candle before and keep consistently adding to it. Whereas like, and then on the other hand, right, when it's like going down the other way, like there's a candle that's smaller than the other one, like the range of the candles like, relative to the other one aren't any all that much proportionately bigger, right? Although these are all bigger than over here, they're not proportionally bigger than each other, these candles, right? So the price can take it down like consistently, and if that consistency isn't represented here, right, because it's like the range of difference that adds to this fucking line. So like immediately this is like, you can see that what people are actually using it for all over the internet, fuck knows why, somebody somewhere did it wrong once and everyone's copying them. It's just fucking counterintuitive, so stop trying to use it for like obvious shit, right? If trading was that easy, what the fuck do you think that, like honestly, it's stupid, right? So like if you're using this, why are you using it, right? Like, and what are you trying to get out of it? And like, and sure, there's got purposes. So that's why it tanks, or it goes fine when prices are going down and that. And people are like, I don't understand and that. And is this what people mean by divergence? And it's like, no, no, that's not what they mean. Right, so let's add some other indicators back on. See, now that we're getting some moves here, we can actually do some TA for today, right? We wanted. This will put that back on. We'll put that back on. We've got the ice cream colours back, which is default. Right. What do we see here? Oh, I got a notification about something. Sorry. What was that? Peter! Yo, how's it going, Peter? Slayer's Fanny. How you doing, Peter? Great to see you. Hope you're having a good start to the week. And thanks very much for that very generous donation. That's much appreciated. We'll look for higher super chat. Right, I got that one. That was that. So it's okay. I haven't missed anything too much. And I got my scales back on the left there. Don't I just fucking love the way TradingView doesn't default it to where you've already got it like any normal program would. Like obviously people take these off and on all the time. Obviously TradingView, not if they want. You're gonna make me do that every time. Yeah, it seems like you are. Over the period of my life, that'll be so many times I've had to do that. Ugh. Right. I tend to have the RSI above the DMI because it's like simpler, so like you'll go through it and then through the DMI to confirm what you might have already seen or otherwise. Cachicho, can you ELIA explain it like I amn't? Basel 3 and why we should probably pay attention to it this month. Yeah, sure, mate. What was I just doing there? I was going to do some TA because prices are down. Thought people would be worried, and I wanted to show you how we can be calm in the face of price action. But we've already got these horizontal levels on. Like you can see that we're making lower, like on a very short-term time frame. Right, this is lower than here, but our RSI is higher, right? So that's bullish divergence. We can say that if you were to take that back across a further amount of time, it's lower there. It's like class B, bearish divergence, the bullish divergence there from that low, right? Because that is an actual low you're measuring it from, unless you take this as a low. But like we didn't then go on to make any significant higher high or close above any 236, so it'd be hard to define that as one. So like this is just intra-trend moves, and like you can't necessarily say that that's bullish yet, certainly. But there are other things there, right? That's 15 minutes. You go to the hourly. See that like if we close it here, then you've completely put to bed the idea of the inverted headed shoulders, and the benefit is of it that you might get some sort of other confluence that you could like work to and say like perhaps it's some sort of, if you do body closes there, and that's like fair enough with 2 and a wick, and here's fair enough with 2 and a wick, and perhaps another wick or body close around here, and that'd be a test of these lines and a retracement of this Fibonacci from this move here, or whatever the hell that is. No, that would be this Fibonacci here, which is there, right? That's why these lines are here and that line's there. Okay, I must have moved that back at some point. Yo! So I'll get so the price action looks fine at the minute. This is like totally not a panic station. So what's happening on the trend on DMI? We can see even on the hourly there is no fucking trend. Drop down and see it more. We'll get some idea of like there was a jump there in the strength of the negative side of the move, and that's gain here. But the strength represented by ADX, absolutely nothing to worry about. This is like a buy. Unless, of course, prices actually shit themselves, in which case, you know, this isn't ever financial advice. It was given in the context of a bullish thesis. Where would you buy? And that's a good option. And like I say, it's not financial advice. So, and if you don't know markets can go up and down, then I sympathise, right? But that's what fucking happens. So Basel III, right? Essentially, lots of different governments in the world don't trust gold ETFs. They think that their holdings are absolute bullshit, that people are lying about their real holdings of gold. People are wanting to hit their own stores back. They're not getting them. Lots of different countries, in particular Russia and China, are putting a much higher emphasis on gold. Also, the gold markets and most of the precious metal markets are controlled like on different levels of the value chain in Switzerland and in the London Stock Exchange. And that's how most of the money markets, most of the fund managers that know what they're fucking doing anyway, work. And yeah, so like the way the chat is apparently that yeah, nobody fucking trusts it anymore, and everyone's worried about this idea of the Great Rotation, the super cycle and whatnot, and like on a macro level people are worried about how shit's going to go and that, and they want a hedge, and traditionally that's what these countries over China and Russia do. Like they're culturally they do that, invest in gold a lot, which is a bit of a turnaround because recently Russia were selling all the gold, and because it's a bit of a dramatic change, people are like thinking, oh, we pay even more attention to it. And then in it's a bit spooked a lot of people in London, and a lot of people in Switzerland are also like, yeah, well, you see that they're that trade in these ETFs and shit. Well, we're not really fucking interested in that. We're actually rather be going with real gold. Yo, I'm looking for some real fucking gold only. And so that spooked the markets there again, and so now real gold's like in demand in certain places, but at the same time, like it's like a reflexive asset too, to a degree. Like if prices fall in certain things, then certain investments, like if it happens across the board, and gold isn't safe either, so you can expect dramatic drops and ups and downs in that. This isn't necessarily a guarantee, but it does give people an opportunity to hedge their portfolios with certain things right now. That's not a simple question of just getting some fucking gold or silver especially, which is like completely different play to gold if you think about it and know what you're doing in terms of risk. It's a completely different type of hedge. So it's not something that you can just pick up and be like, oh right, well I heard that like people like gold when shit's bad and I'm going to buy some gold or whatever. That's not necessarily going to work, right? Like it has worked at different times recently as a hedge against like the inflation jumps and whatnot, but they're like sort of short term things, right? So like yeah, that's like there's a lot of fucking trade spotting short take on why you should pay attention to the precious metal markets over the next 2 weeks, like especially the end of this month, and also who asked that? Cachicho. Aye, and like look it up, right? Look up the stuff about Basel 3. I mean, there's a lot of shit FUD out there as well about that, but you're immune to that stuff by now. You just want to understand like the principles of these money markets and how they drive, how they're affected by the dynamic between them and equities markets, right? Now, it's very interesting how that's traditionally played out, and it's interesting that there's like a degree of consternation in around these times, right? So you put all that together and you like figure out the news, right? Figure out the news before it happens. Like basically that's what it is, right? Now there is better ways of explaining it, right? And you might want to ask somebody else to get you like, but you can just read about it. But does that, like, you can probably sense from what I'm saying that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to hedge your investments by just putting into precious metals, right? Look at the different places you can invest your, like, just look at it, Ollie. Thanks for your input on that one. Yo, you're welcome. Like, it's not like it's not DD, that's for sure. It's just like what I'd say if I was half drunk, maybe. Sorry, I wouldn't take a long time for us apes to get paid. What's that question about? Correct. I want to understand the big picture. Yeah. So basically, from the big picture, it's like sovereign nation states and stuff like that. That's like part of a big macro picture. You know, these things are like, those market cycles are completely different from what you might be used to. Like, so yeah, there's that. But like, I'm like very much like my whole trading strategy and lifestyle is completely different. It's like all about trying to make enough money to pay bills and then preserve wealth in periods of risk, right? Which often means like I don't take trades and stuff like that, or I don't hold the positions for long times and whatnot. And so like as such, I look for like a particular type of moves that suit my edge and that, and they're usually defined by like trading signals that I'll have worked out or constructed over the years. And then I only look for moves that go like certain amounts, right? It's all about risk reward for me, rather than like the amount of money I'll make on a trade, because that's like an ass about face way of living your life. You're never going to, like, honestly, mate, what the fuck, eh? Like, have you learned anything from doing this? Anyway, it's about risk reward and that. So, generally speaking, that means that like you're wise to remove as much risk as possible, and like, well, you'll use like good, solid multi-time frame analysis. You might be holding positions for very short periods of time. So that's how I take my big picture news, with that in mind. Correct, and that's that. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, anybody. So yeah, anyone got any particular questions about shit? I mean, like that TA talked about, there's chat 20798. Probably people want to know like, where could it, how long will it go down, where will it turn around, and like question isn't even relevant till prices drop below 180 or something, and that like do I expect them to get there? Well, I don't know, right? We're in this little formation here. Things are doing what they're fucking doing. It's not all that crazy. At some point, Ryan Cohen's going to come out and say, yo, by the way, we've sold all those shares, and like we've like not only now got all of our debt paid off, but we've raised fuckloads of capital compared to what anyone would have thought possible when they were opening any of these short positions. Which you can look at the average short position entry price that are still outstanding trades. Like, you can look at the average across the market, with regards to like current open interest in that, and these people are completely fucked, eh? Like, so like that's your like big picture DD, and then when you look at the TA, it's like well, it's just a matter of time. That's essentially what all of this says. There's like no reason to not be bullish on this. Like and I could talk about Wyckoff and like GAN theory and whatnot, but I was planning on doing that for the next couple of days, and then talking about that in the TA I'll write up before the shit, so people will be able to like follow along, ask questions, like especially when things get a little bit more complicated throughout the week, and then focus on like, yeah, it was funny. It's nice tweet, Father's Day tweet, and then people can focus on the Friday stuff, like, well, I'll cover slightly more relevant to options expiry stuff, like indicators, volatility, support and resistance, open interest by strike price, whatnot. Cover that sort of shit later in the week, right? So people can like you take what they will or not. But like I say, it's not financial advice, and I've not got financial advice only other than to definitely don't shop at unreasonable.com. .shop, not .com. What a stupid name that would be. It's .shop. Unreasonable.shop. Why does SP have to fall below to not be upgraded to the Russ 1000? What? Just P. What's SP? Why does SP have to fall below? What does SP? Oh right. What does the share price have to fall below to not be upgraded to the Russell 1000? Oh, it's too late. It's going to be upgraded anyway. It's like snapshot they do. It's a snapshot they do. Like people think, oh, what is the Russell 1000? What is the Russell 2000? Whatever, right? It's like it's a fund based in the UK that trades like obviously old American companies. We're talking to Gamestop, all sorts of different companies really, but American companies, yeah. And it's the top 1000. And the fund managers down there are no spring chickens, right? They don't fuck around. It's not just some secretary somewhere, and I say secretary in a totally non-gender specific way. I'm saying it's not just some fucking admin process, right? It's like these are some of the smartest dudes, and those fund managers don't fuck around, right? And anyway, the point is they're adding. They decided what they were doing on like the 14th of June or July or 14th of June or something. So like the share price won't. What does it have to fall below to be like taken out of it? Well, like we'll look at that again. They only do reconstitute the fund like whatever it is, like what's it? Is it quarterly or something? So like it's not like it doesn't matter. It's got like that's like not irrelevant. But that's just not relevant. That's the answer. I can't remember who asked or if that's a friendly enough way of responding, but like the point is it doesn't make any difference. Can you explain the strange options activity in GME in the last couple of months? Sorry if you've done that already. I'll listen when I can. Yeah, well the first one was Bing Bong, right? That's like, if that's what you're talking about, that was like, when was that? Was that a couple of months ago? That wasn't, right? So when was that? Probably about a month ago, the last couple of months. Well, like, you've got the FTD cycle, right, and everyone's perfectly aware of what's happening, and then people are acting in synchronicity with this information that's coming out, and that synchronicity in participants' behaviour leads to trends, and that trend then becomes repetitive, right? We already own the company, right? So we know that if we just keep buying bits of it at certain times, the price is going to go up, right? And still there's people out there who don't accept the most obvious DD, right? We already own the company, like, hello. Anyway, so we just buy it at certain time. Like, no, it's not financial advice, and I'm not saying like you should do this, right? But like there are periods of volatility that you can predict using certain indicators, one of which I had up on the screen earlier and talked about like tiny little bit briefly, and another one which a lot of people know me here. Hi, and yeah. So like there's times when because volatility is part of the pricing of these instruments, like it's like cheap, and then there's also like a predictable cycle that they go through in terms of prices. So like people buy at certain times. People have got like an understanding of how to trade options in a really short time frame. They know how to get in slightly quicker. Market makers pricing these fucking things are at some degree trying to balance the books, and other hand they all work for the vast majority of on exchange market makers go via Citadel, and so they're like, hey, allegedly, right, they that's V for victory, by the way, they try to fuck around, right, and like all that shit's like apparent option train, and like the other half of it, and how the apes and that and people who know what's going on respond, and our erstwhile allies and BlackRock, I can imagine too. How everyone's playing that is like, it's like the that's part of the symphony we're all playing. So that's why that is, and in like how long will that continue? Right. Well, there's an expiry this week that's interesting, and then there's one like in like the next 3 are really interesting. Why the next 3 though? I thought it was monthly. Well, yeah, but you know, the shit's building up, and right, and look at the way it's going round. Like, look at the way it's going round. Rocky, good to see you, Rock. Oh, you're here, Rocky. How are you doing? Great to see you, Rocky. Wow, Rocky was up early. Considering how late he was up working on that, and like as people know, we've got like a full-time job outside this. So, although yesterday was Sunday, like oh, it's hard. Anyway, whatever. Right. Thanks, Rocky. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Ronaldo legend. Ronaldo's got a video on his channel. It's fucking incredible. Can I play it, Ronaldo? I'll play it. No, leave it for Rocky stream later, perhaps. You should tune in for Rocky stream later, and you should check out Ronaldo's channel. Whoop whoop! It's a brilliant video. It was Ronaldo was playing on the drinking stream on Friday, on Rocky's channel, and like currently streamed on Cosmic's Twitch channel. We were all on there with Ronaldo, who was like in the bar live playing the music, playing Diamond Hands tunes, and like some of our favorites, and like there's a wee clip of it from. Well, there's loads of clips could be made from it, but it's brilliant. Those drinking streams are well good fun. Anyway, it's well good fun. So check it out. Check out Ronaldo Moreno, Diamond Hands. And like there's another tune I wanted to play. Shall we play it now? This is from another chap. Right, so 206.79. Check out YOLO Short Squeeze. YOLO and Short Squeeze. YOLO and Prez Short Squeeze. He's a super cool dude. And check that out. And then also Ronaldo Moreno. This is a silly way to do it, but do Ronaldo Moreno. Where is it? I'm playing this and it asked, but I didn't get an answer.
People who are affected by just your amazing bet on Gamestop, who are all going to be loyal to Gamestop because they knew or are influenced because of you. You help somebody, you donate to somebody, you donate to some charity, some kid, you're helping some orphanage, you're literally, your kids are impacted, your grandkids are impacted. I'm helping my friends, I'm helping this school get uniforms, school uniform, whatever. All because of GameStop, and it becomes a super loyalty. Woo! Like, think about it. Woo! Let's change the fucking world!
All right, let's do this then.
Check this out on Ronaldo's channel. Ronaldo Moreno. Subscribe to this guy. Legend, man. That should be 408 million.
I'm smiling, looking like I'm Dominique. Yes, I've earned my chips. Scream to pain. All the
All on the same page, isn't it?
Like I don't have a seat at the game. I guess I'm the rage, but I'm gonna hold. I've been down much longer than you have been gone.
The problem with like other than just like visualizing like how much money there is, I'm gonna show this little graph above my head if you guys can see it or not on your streams, but in just a second. But like people, their biggest problem is themselves because they've never thought anything good would happen to them. So like, you know, you're like, well, all the facts are there, right? The DD's there, all the logic is there, all the math checks out that we own more than the float. We own the entire company already. It's ours. We own, like, they have to buy it back from us. But what's the problem? So the problem becomes you're now getting in your own way. You literally are stopping yourself from asking the hot girl out because you're too afraid to ask her out that she's gonna say no before she actually likes you.
Yeah, this is what Rocky loves talking about, you know. These analogies that will link you to the psychology of what's going on in the market. The boy who pissed his pants is an excellent analogy. Rocky likes to use. And Cosmic there. Cosmic's such a relatable guy. Like, everyone should subscribe to Cosmic Lightning Warrior. He's such a legend too. Look at that guy. We always put in our...
Destroy your enemy. Your children's enemy is to buy GME. And that's not financial advice.
It's the hedge against
You
evil.
say it's political advice.
It's our hedge against evil and the corruption that's been going on for years and years and years. If you could be Mark Baum or the guys that betting, or Michael Burry that won the bet on Big Short, you watch that movie, like, man, I wish that was me, but I'm too dumb to know anything about finances. You know, but now you're not. We all understand.
No, you're not.
The biggest
You're
ring ever.
full.
We're literally the biggest bar ever, and we're all drinking and talking. Like, did you know this? Did you know that? Holy shit! No, we all know this. Oh my God, look around. We all know this. And like, this is how we win. No shit. This is how we win, of course. And when we win, that's it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, that's it. Woo, get the fuck out of the way. We know what's happening. We already own the fucking company. We know what's happening.
We own it.
We already own the company, and every single time we get paid, we buy more.
Yeah.
210s bought 5-7. Yep. Hey, H. Jones. Harriet, how's tricks? Harriet's a fantastic Monday person. Yeah, well, it wasn't financial advice. Am I gay if I feel nothing when kissing girls? Says Lil Chich. Lil, what you're doing there is you're asking yourself the wrong question. Like, the construction of your question shows that you perhaps don't understand the idea of what it is to look at like constructive analytical thought. The question isn't that, because there's no logical inference to be drawn from your initial supposition. The point of investigating to find an answer is the process of the preservation of truth. And so if you understood what it meant in terms of logic, you'd probably ask a much better question to be asked would be how you feel about kissing boys. Should you be a boy? And that'll give you the answer about whether or not you may or may not be gay. And the answer to like that question from everybody's point of view apart from yours probably is and should be, and in the majority, trust me, will be, they couldn't give two flying fucks, right? And if they just would rather you knew. So like if you actually have questions about it, feel free to kiss a boy and find out, right? And that like there's your advice, right? And then if anything else, that'll give you like a scientific hypothesis that you can test against with like using starting from an approachable position to this huge problem that you hint at, and so it's like I suppose in the same way, and I suppose it's relative to like the discussion I have generally speaking here with people who like want to paper hand GME. Like, I'm on a race to own as much of GME as I can because I believe it's going to be one of the biggest companies, if not the biggest company in the world. And I truly believe that by market cap it will be the biggest company in the world, if not briefly, but it will be. This is a strong belief of mine, right? So why did I talk about that? Oh, well, how do you get there, right? How do you do that, right? And it's the same way that you'll approach your question, right? It's this other question you could answer is like, how do you eat an elephant, right? And essentially the answer is one piece at a time, right? One piece at a time. So there's your non-sexual orientation advice. Good entry today. I got some dry powder, ready for battle. Well, I mean, it all depends on what levels you reach, right? There's like loads of levels on the screen there that you'll see that are horizontal levels of support, which are represented over here on the right. Their numbers, you'll see them show up, right? So 194, that's a level 202, 206.87. Anything under 209 means that we're below that level of support. So you'd maybe wait till like see if that closes above that on, say, let's say 4-hour chart, you've got an hour and 24 minutes left, right? And like the most important skill you'll ever have when it comes to trading is patience. So you could build patience into your idea and think, well, how using patience and these lines will I define what's the best move, right? And that might be either because you want to reduce risk, or you want to get the lowest possible price entry, which means you're introducing a different kind of risk that you might never get it, right? So there's like always this opportunity cost, which is why you can build everything around a zero hypothesis. Then you'll be able to come up to the most objective conclusion that suits you, right, in terms of a plan. Then you can stick to that, and that'll be developed if you use a trading journal and you use technical analysis and you use risk management. Then you'll be able to find the answer to where is your best entry based on your personality, your budget, and how you feel about things. And then zoom, 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 there's like the taking all of that and being like, let's add in the thoughts of Jamie. Like, it's not financial advice, right? And if it was, I'd be charging you shitloads of fucking money, because who's better at this than me? I don't know. You introduce me. I'd like to learn off them. And I know a few people who are, and I do learn off them constantly. So what's the best entry, right? Like, so the general answer is anywhere, right? Anywhere. We already own the entire fucking company, so when like everything gets put to rights, you don't need to worry. Probably not financial advice. But I understand what you're asking, mate. I know what you're asking. So like your answer is like 200 and whatever that is, 206.96 at the minute. That's your best answer. It may well become that your best answer later on is 202, and then it may well be that it's 194, and that's the best entry for today, as in where prices might get on the downside today. Pardon me. But like ultimately over a long period of time, you know, if you can hold above 172, 173, that's really positive. You can hold above 150 and whatnot, also very positive. And both of these levels would be in line with a linear progression on fixed scale chart, when you were defining something such as like a GAN fan, and you were looking at the progression of the higher lows. You would fully expect some sort of test of these levels, like, and right, if you put on these moving averages, you can see where they're coming in at, right? They're coming in combination with, in confluence with a lot of these other levels, right? Fib levels, horizontal levels and support and resistance. And then like multi-time frame analysis, you go through there and you can see like here's the other ones coming in at other places for other reasons, and that, and the same technical analysis that was relevant on Friday is relevant today with regards to places where we haven't got to yet, and that's on the both and down and the top side. So feel free to look at Friday's video. You don't have to look at the whole thing because there's chapters in the comments. You'll be able to find them in the comments. Fuck, I forgot to add them to the description, so they won't show up in the actual video. Mind you, you'll be able to just scroll down, you'll see it, right? And there's a fast forward button, so like you don't have to spend your whole life looking at it or get worried. And there's Case Guy, who's the guy who did the comments, absolute legend. What's better? Who's better than you, Jamie? Rocky is, besides me. Oh, there's like thousands of them. You know, most of them wouldn't be on YouTube, but some of them are. And I'd have to take my hats off to them and say that they are better than me, like for sure. I know it definitively, and I respect what they do. They don't have the same opinion on GME as I do. One of them is Eric Crown, the absolute legend, and another one is Mitch Ray, absolute legend at what he does, completely brilliant, like totally brilliant, like. And so much respect for him. And if you're ever over there, say I sent you. And then same with Rocky Outcrop. And if you're ever over there, say I sent you. And what I would love it if we would all do is if we would all just go, everyone here would just go and like Rocky's latest video and subscribe to him. That you'll get more out of doing that than you will for watching the rest of this video. I can tell you that for a fact. So that's that. What else was I supposed to be covering? Jesse, that's $4.99 for explaining the options activity in GME. Well, I don't know if I gave you a good enough answer there. But look at the FDD cycle and like look at the DD up on the old super stonks there, and you'll see fairly quickly what people are thinking. And then there's plenty of other YouTubers and people out there who also talk about options and that, like in a more actionable way perhaps than I do. Because I think options it's very difficult to give people ethically. I find difficulties with giving people financial advice in the first place, especially when it comes to particularly risky financial instruments, and nobody fucking listens to me, right? I've told you all millions of times, not millions, but I say it every time, right? Options contracts look for 2 weeks to 2 months expiries, right? The further away the better, right? You always hedge when you're playing options, right? Always take some sort of a hedge, unless you can afford to just chuck that money away. And like there's your two things, right? Really try. Like I will be over the next 2 weeks trading really close expiry option contracts, based on like volatility and particular market actions that I might happen to notice on with regards to activity pre-market and post-market this week, right? If I see what I think I'm expecting to see. With regards to like the proportionate moves in aftermarket and pre-market with regards to price range, and in that relative to intraday volume profiles, I may be taking extremely risky option trades, but they're not something I would ever fucking recommend, right? So, and like, if you find yourself trading anything that's expiring in less than a week and you're not really good at what you're doing, like, you have to be comfortable with the fact that you might lose all of your money, right? That's not financial advice, and I don't know why I'm even talking about that, because I try not to. Why was I asking? What did I say? Why, I don't know. You go in that Discord and you'll learn alongside other people, right, who are like, and then you can learn from each other in all sorts of different ways, from each other's good advice and from other people's mistakes, right? And together you will all be able to like take advantage of the cost of education, which is not borne by like any fees or paywalls that Rocky or I put up. It's that it's very hard for people to learn about themselves, right? It's a crushingly difficult process if you're just getting started in trading. You're taking like risky things, and that's like I'd advise you to take as much advice on as possible. And Frostcrest is somebody who'll help you in that regard, whether explicitly or inadvertently. I'm sure you would benefit from his presence. Grabbed another share at 208. Nice. Yo. 207.49. 207.49. Right, so have I missed anything in particular? Can you explain strange up? Nope. So everybody's fine. How long have we been streaming for? 1 hour 20, right? And I've already written the DD up, right? So what do I do in terms of what do I left I need to do? What do I left I need to do? Well, for anyone new here, right, this is daily time frame. This is a cup and handle formation. Fits with William O'Neill's definition of it from 1988. The two things that you want to look out for are not too deep a U on the cup, a 50 to 60% retrace on the with handle. Preferably you'll see some divergence. We did. You also see volume profile lower than average when it's at the bottom of the cup. You can see the lower than average volume by turning on an moving average across your volume at the bottom there, and you'll see, look, price close. I mean, you can't because it's too freaking small, but if you were to look at that, you'd see that the volume was below average when prices were at the bottom of the cup and whatnot, right? And that's the information about that, right? There's other information about cup and handles that most people don't talk about, and you're not going to find on shitty little websites on the internet. It's like, this is a website on technical analysis, and we'll give you all the answers. And that, like, no, you fucking won't. That's very, very unlikely, right? What you want to do is you want to do what like Rocky and I do, right? And if this person who came up with this technical indicator is alive, you want to talk to that person, right? If you can, and if you've got any sort of experience. And you approach them in the right way, and you're respectful of their time. And it's particularly good if you've achieved anything with regards to fucking anything. You'll be able to talk to these people, and they'll probably give you the time of day if they have it, right? And if they don't, or if they're dead, you can do things like ask people who have spoken to them or allow or work. And if you can't do that, you can study their shit, right? Because there's probably books written about them. And if you can't do that, you can like look up anything that they've ever, anything they might have written a book, right? And if they haven't written a book, they might have written loads of other different things. And if you want to know more about how to figure out what like the best people ever did, right? Go to Rocky's Outcrop, watch his videos, tune into his channel. He covers how to figure this shit out, and I'm like, I'm going to step on his coattails. Like, he's the one doing it. If you want the answers, he's the one to check out. I was talking about that, can't remember. Yeah, because of this shit, right? People don't realise, and one of the tips about a cup and handle is that unless the formation has been happening over a period of 7 weeks at least, then it's not a cup and handle. Doesn't fucking matter what it looks like, doesn't matter what's going on. Which is why I, at here, was able to say, and you go back, check my videos, that we're going to go in and put a cup and handle in, right? I said that here, right? Don't believe me, go and check. think technical analysis doesn't work on manipulated stocks. Welcome to the truth. It does. I said here we're going to put a cover handle. Boom, boom. Right, not what I said. So it was what the path of least resistance, what was most likely to happen in terms of probability from all possible outcomes that we could have expected to seen with regards to what the charts were telling us, and this is what they were telling us, and here's what we are, and there was other cup and handles along the way, and that's how we were able to define it. And people might look at this and say it's a bull flag, and they might look at it and say, well, this particular price of fraction is similar to AMC, but then the retraces on this are different. It's not coming from like an all-time high and retesting its previous breakout point. And there's loads of other differences that make me think like, although it looks like on some ways the charts are the same, whoops, they're not, and but the market participants are, right? And I'm very much a fan of the idea of apes strong together, and that being across like, different assets that people are in. I don't see any benefit in attacking people and that. Whatever. Yo, good morning, failure to deliver. Morning all, failure to deliver. I managed to get one of your t-shirts onto the unreasonable.shop. Now, a cut of all of the profits from any particular product sold goes to the person who designed that product, or not the product, but whatever, the design on the product or whatever, like, and it's 20%, so it's like, hopefully that's like good, right? Anyway, it's up to other people to judge whether that's good or not. Anyway, so that money goes to those people. So, but if you buy anything off there, you're also helping other people, right? And those people are awesome as shit at what they do. And so you check out the shit on unreasonable.shop, and you can see some of it below my video. I hope that Teespring shelves thing works up, and you can click on it down there, and you don't even have to go off YouTube, and it'll open up, and you can watch it on this video, and you could buy a cup or something, buy all those sort of things. But be mindful of the fact that they're all grossly unreasonably priced. And not for people who don't have lots of money. That's not that kind of shop, right? And if I saw you come in, and I thought, well, they don't have the money to shop here, I'd shout fuck off, and I'd throw shit at you, and I'd kick you if you tried to get in the door. You know, you're not. Don't come to unreasonable.shop, right? Don't and that. And if you somehow managed to get in and were trying to buy shit off me, I'd be like try to push you out the door. You'd be getting no bag to carry your shit home in, and that you probably wouldn't get your change. And there is no such thing as returns here, right? So like don't even fucking, like, you save yourself a headache by not even checking it out. So like there's the answer. Tradespotting, dude, I didn't make it for the money, so anything is good, lol. Yo, I know you did it, mate. No, you don't do it for the money. Did it for the love. And like, how else do I show you love back? And that, other than giving you what's fair, right? And that's what it is. And like, the truth is, people have been fucked over for years by all sorts of different systems, and patent systems no different, and copyright systems the same. And so people on the bottom rung, and like, not to say the bottom rung, but I mean people that aren't don't have like huge insidious organizations protecting them. It's very difficult for people that have got any sort of creative aptitude to get started in that. And like, it's also, they never get rewarded properly, and they certainly don't get rewarded over time properly in that. So like, that was one of my thoughts, right? So regardless of whether you need the money, that's not exactly the point. It's just about what's doing the right thing. Sort of idea. And like, he's a cool guy, and his designs are awesome, and I've only managed to get one of them up, but let's check it out. Check it out. Don't check it out. It's fucking unreasonable. I can't remember what I put the price of it at, but it's stupidly high. Damn, we getting smashed below $200. Cryface. Yeah, that guy, yes! That guy, yes! Shit, your username doesn't match the enthusiasm of your name does not match the content of your comment there, that guy, yes. What you should be saying is, fucking take me below 200, you bastards, come on. But today's Monday, right? There's absolutely fuck all consequences of prices hitting 174 at all. There's like no consequences of prices going way beyond any of these levels. And like, we've been through this shit before. Hey, we've been through this shit before, and trust me, this opportunity cost they're making you pay now by holding you in positions that you'd rather be out of, like, and rich and like have changed the world already, is only going to be paid back in your favor, right? Because there is no, like, you know, this is what we'd really like to see, a recovery of this. But I did speculate that what might happen in today's DD that I wrote on r/Tradespotting is that you might see prices drop down into here, you know, and then at the end of the day come back up here, some sort of close like that. But I did also speculate with the most passive least resistance in the short to medium term is downwards. So bring it on, right? Whatever. I'm freaking buying again. Well, I mean, we're all buying again all the freaking time. So, like, I mean, I get paid for the very first time I get a significant payment. And I say significant, it's like not what it could be because YouTube's got ridiculous periods of that. But, like, I'll be getting paid soon. And then, same deal, right? Like, loads more goes into GME shares. And so if the prices are slightly down here, like, that's fine, eh? Because I live in a continuum, right? It's not a snapshot. It's not a photo. My life isn't a photograph, right? And I'm quite happy to understand that there's like optics on shit and there's anyway whatever the fuck, right? You can look at it as you want, a telescope, a kaleidoscope, whatever floats your boat, but the truth is the future's coming, and in that future prices will be higher. And so like I like it when they're cheaper at the minute because I'm putting money into it, and that's the way it works, right? Also like it when it goes higher and tests like areas that were resistance and confirms them as support, right? Which is what is another way of reducing risk. So I like that too. Yeah, so you could hit like, as Tony Wright's saying in the comments there, you could hit like, or if you got any value at all from this video, you could buy me the Ferrari Aperta, right? That's all I ask, right? That's all I ask. And yeah, and it's not an unreasonable, from where I live, right? That's not unreasonable, right? For example, if you're Ken Griffin or somebody, right, and you ask me for what I'd want for a GME share, I'd say like, well, right up front with like just me right now, like 20 million bucks, you know. So like that's what I would say. That's not doesn't necessarily mean that anything with regards to price action. That's just the price. I would say like I'd be happy to sell a share at right now as I feel right now. That's the truth. And anything under that, I wouldn't be particularly happy to sell it at, right? Because my objective is to own the biggest company in the world. That's my primary objective. And like holding and owning and buying and holding is like the only way I'll get there, right? I'd love to buy shares under 200 bucks. It would increase my portfolio diversification. I like to have shares bought at 42, 160, 90, 270, 185, etc. Looking forward to selling shares to buy that I bought at 1 million. Yes, this is exactly the sort of attitude I have. Daniel knows the crack. Yeah, I love it, mate. I fucking love it. And I've bought it. It's very, very similar levels to my friend Daniel there over the piece. As many of us have. There's Cosmic Lightning Warrior. What the fuck? The stock is supposed to skyrocket after our drinking stream. Yes, this is what's supposed to happen. The bastards that be, you know, they're all like, oh, I don't like them having all that fun. I don't like them having all that fun. I'm going to crash the price for a wee bit now. We're just waiting for the old Ryan, right? It says down 200. Here's your getting your freaking bargain. Whoever it was earlier said it's going to get smashed below it. Is right. Get down our prices so we can get our bargains. That drinking stream was legendary. Thanks for putting such a sound below Cosmic. Yay. Everybody should check it out on his Twitch stream or on Rocky's thing, but you'll have to be a member to get to see it there because it's fucking gets embarrassing after a while. Yo, oh, maybe chat just jumped. Maybe that was old. Sorry. Fuck, it was. I love red days. CLW bought 20 more GME this morning so far. Paul B, you got 20 more. Oh, nice. Barf. Yeah, that was so funny, Cosmic. Oh, market cap as predicted by dip, thick value. Bum 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 bum. Oh, that was that. Well, we all know about that. Put it up pretty high, didn't it? Pretty high. See, Cosmic, man, you're a legend, eh? And like, and part of the way I respect Cosmic so much is like he doesn't come out with any arrogance or assumptions or whatever. He's like so happy to learn all the time and that, and like so enthusiastic and fucking pumped, right? And his energy's so infectious and that. It's like such a fucking awesome person to have around you if you're trying to learn anything ever and that. And he's such a good example in like how to be a solid bloke and that. Fucking awesome guy. And it was well good fun on the drinking stream there. And like with Rocky and I on Friday. And if to see any of that stuff, you'll have to be subscribed to one of their channels. Partly because I've got more subscribers than they guys have, and like I like to lift people up with me, right? Like get way more from that than I do about any of my own personal success, right? And like that's evident throughout my whole history if you want to look at back. And you help people onto the table, and then they help you on, and then everyone together and whatever, and you get we can't, like people I'm trying to fucking fight, I can't do on my own, right? Cosmic got poisoned by evil aliens. That's those fucking Garlachians. But it will have been something they put in Cosmic's food as opposed to eating them, because I heard he likes jumping down on them, and they're good for his blood. Saw Cosmic vomit. I don't know. This is a legendary thing. You'll have to check it out for yourselves if you want to see. Odds of hitting 160. Odds. Very low. 160. It's low odds of that. It's about what happens when it gets there, though. It's like, well, people will buy it, but people will be buying at all these levels beforehand, right? 152 is down there. That's where I predicted prices. Why did I have a line there? There must be a reason for that. What is it? That's that fib. This is... Oh, we can move this now. Excellent. So there's an update. That's what price action is giving us. Thanks, Stefan S. Love you, buddy. Well, thanks for being such a great part of chat. Always, always, always. And for your support of everybody and your greater contributions. Love it, mate. And what else was I thinking about? I was looking at this. I did that, moved that fib. That's handy. I was looking at this. Oh, somebody said 160 options. What chance of hitting that? We've got 200 coming in at 191 on 4-hour time frame. And then on 12-hour time frame, we've also got the 100 exponential moving average coming in. Or sorry, exponential 100 up there. And 200, both one supporting it at the minute and then the other just below it, so that's a reason for it to bounce, on top of the fact that it's like divergent on these higher time frames, and price is lower but the oscillator's higher, and like the strength of this trend, it was the uptrend, it was dominant, and then like it's just a weakening of that positive trend, and then the lower, like as the the bear trend, here, the bear strength as represented by the DMI here, you can see that as that strength was taken over, the actual overall trend was dying, and it wasn't necessarily a boon to the bear. So like this is like very divergent. It's like representative of the fact that the share price itself is weighing it down, and that people like ourselves are just like slowly buying it at dollar cost averaging, perhaps, like just slowly catching it, bits and bits of it, as much as we get, as low as the price goes. And there's no real pressure on the price from market orders. There's no real like definitive strength in the either side of the trend, and so like prices can tend to drop off, but the fact that buying pressure really hasn't necessarily dropped off, it's just the way it's represented, and so like the degrees of bullish divergence come through when you can see that we're actually in periods of accumulation, right? You can look at it and say define it as periods of accumulation, and then if that is your logic and that is your way you're constructing your thoughts, then you can look through these things and say, well, if this is a period of accumulation, well, prices are dropping, and what does accumulation mean, right? Well, it usually happens into the accumulation, it goes into the hands of large accounts. We broke out of this formation down here. If that was a wedge, what would it look like? It's not really what it is. On daily time frame again, you would still be looking for that 206 and whatever area. So like, I mean, if you're looking at that, just drawing it out like this here and saying, well, that's a downward sloping channel. Like channels don't typically have like measured moves or whatever, but ones that slope down tend to break up, ones that go up tend to break down. There's nothing serious to worry about here. You're looking at these sort of levels for like entries and that. There's gain on this time frame daily. You've got 55 period moving average coming in there. Like we were saying on the 100, obviously, like you've got the 100 coming in there, right? And if you understand how moving averages work, 55, 100, 12-hour, daily, right? And if you don't understand that, watch Rocky Outcrop. He's got a video out there Saturday or Sunday, was it? I'm not sure. Friday. More recent than that. Maybe it was yesterday. I think it was. And it was how to spot highs and lows, right? And if you don't know how to do that, then you're not going to be able to know how to do anything. So you have to watch that. It's compulsory viewing, that video, right? Even if you think you know what you're talking about, watch Rocky Outcrop's video on highs and lows and how to spot them. And then he also had a video he put out very graciously. It was a clip of his stream where he talked about the different indicators used and different things and different periods of moving averages and different that and all this different stuff, and he'll explain all this stuff better for you too. So you'll understand why there are those things, and why, you know, across different time frames, you're not just looking for like support when it hits them. You're also looking for things like splay and slope. You're looking for splay and slope. Okay, that's what the moving averages. And like when you compare your slopes to other things, then you get loads of extra information. You know, contextual, granular detail about price action. There's that. So right, basically, I mean essentially, right, if prices don't go any lower when they've been at the minute, then we'd like to see a 4-hour close just above 225, right, and then as prices move down, this 236 will move down with it, and when that 236 gets into around like 222, for example, say, where would that be? Where be about there or something? Aye, round about there. Like if prices come down again to this level of horizontal support and resistance at like 192, 193, right, which is quite possible, and then bounce, and they bounce from 193 something up to 222, right, we'll have bounced off long-term, like higher time frame support, right, we'll have been saved by right, price will reverse at support, right, which is like, if he puts in a bullish candlestick pattern at the same time, very positive end to a period of accumulation, and then subsequently go on break the top of a pattern. Anyway, if it goes up and it then closes above 222, should prices go down here and then back there, then we'll be back above this level of horizontal resistance / support, which is very important for price action. So the further this goes, like, it doesn't actually damage us. It's actually quite positive from a technical perspective, and how to like lay out our future and price action's future paths of least resistance. Like we see these sorts of things, it really defeats any like bearish thesis, right? These sorts of results on those sorts of tests, right, which are all constructs that we put on stuff to understand when Mambo. This is it, when Mambo, Harriet, that's fucking quality. So like we've got a competition going on here, right, between Doomslayers and Outcropticians, right? If Doomslayers have got to come up with the best version of When Lambo, and When Mambo is perhaps it, right? Or When Congo, right? Conga, but that doesn't work at all. That's O, has to end in O, and it has to have an M in the middle if we want it to be great. So When Mambo, hey Mambo, when are you happening? No, yeah, when are you, Mambio? When Mambio from Harriet. I think that's what we've got, a winner there, right? We did previously have like When Algo, because YouTube hates me, but that's a real nerdy joke, so we'll talk a little about that when no one's looking, whereas When Mambo is actually like fucking awesome, so I think we're doing good on that. But it's very difficult to beat Rocky's because he's got When Ambo, right, which is like, I mean, it's very difficult to beat that number of letters. It's so good, so in such a small number of characters. When Ambo. So like this is the competition we've got going at the minute, and I think that's our best result from this side of the fence so far. Thanks, Harriet. When Ambo, yep, that's the Rocky one. Frick's sake. Hey Mambo. Way Mambo. It's like Dean Martin's got a number of tunes that would be good during the squeeze, hasn't he? When you think about it. Haha, When Algo's pretty good too. You're being nice, Break Spark. It's not that good, but it is good. But it's like somebody else came up with it. Was it you? Is that why you're saying that? It wasn't me, unfortunately. Or was it? I don't think it was. I wait since January. Yes, good one. Yeah, I've been accumulating since even, like before that, but not in any definitively different way. If we've held since through the big drop, then I'm with you wherever you bought it. When Jambo was my favourite. When Jambo, like Jambo's a football team here in Edinburgh that I don't really particularly like too much, right? Not that I've got a problem with them, I just don't like them that much. As in, like, completely not, even less than feeling positive about them. And obviously the high Bs are way better than them, like in every possible way, in every possible sense, and always will be. And it's just like represented in all of their contributions to culture, the sport itself, the charitable nature of the football club, and like, well done Hibs, you guys are legends, absolutely fucking love you. But that's not to say I'm a Hibs fan, I am, and I'm a Celtic fan, right? So get it right round you if you don't like that, and if you do like that, whee! And yeah, I know there's pish at the minute, so what? They're still one of the most charitable football clubs in the world. if not the most, based on like their like heritage history and their whole existential thing, right? That's why I like them. When Amble was almost Friday night. Yeah. Would have been had I fallen off the toilet the other direction. Tradespotting, what do you do to relax off screen? Read. The odd spot of gardening. More reading. Like, I don't know, you know, like I'm a little bit on the spectrum and I enjoy looking at charts and like, I do it all constantly, all the time. And then like I'm working an awful lot of the time, and also like love seeing and doing stuff with my parents and that. And every so often I get to see my bigger brother John, who lives down in England, and he runs a large mortgage broker, right? So if you're in England or anywhere in Scotland really and you want mortgage advice, he's like the best guy you'll ever get in that level of stuff, right? He's also like really smart. So like if you're looking for mortgage advice, you should check out currency.co.uk. CURREN, that's my name. Yeah, I should have got that right, seeing it as my name. CURRANCY.co.uk. And a lot of people are going to be looking for mortgage advice soon, I'll tell you that much. Tradespotting, she stated that there is nothing in place for the hedge funds to cover. Is that true? There is nothing in place. Yeti, yo buddy, how's it going? It's nothing in place. Who's she? Is there another message up above? There is. Tradespotting, Jamie, thanks. Question. Over to the weekend, I watched an interview with Dr. Trimbath. She stated the major issues are the failure to deliver. She stated that there is nothing in place for the hedge funds to cover. Is that true? Well, I'm not sure what the context of what she says there, but the major problem for them is the failure to deliver. Yes, and what does that create? Failures to receive. And who's the only person that can force that issue to come to a conclusion? Well, we like to imagine it all sorts of different ways, but if you are tuned into Rocky Outcrop, you'll already know the answer, and that's that one of our erstwhile allies are likely going to force them to cover or close those failures to deliver. This is the way the mechanisms of that system all works, right? And like, I don't know the context of what Dr. Trimba was saying, but I respect her greatly, and like I understand that like from what we're like what's relevant to us, right? Well, what's actionable about all this is that we understand that it could be that BlackRock are one of the ones that trigger the squeeze, or the one, and if that's to happen, then they're going to do it at the circumstances of their choosing, right? That's obvious. And so, well, what would that be? Well, it would be when they're protected from any fallout from it and whatnot. So that there might be lots of clues in what they get up to. But like, yeah, that's like what I think, right? And that narrative then does get taken and like gets like sucked into the whole like, oh, but then we could go short on these different things and we could do X, Y, and Z, and like, well, I believe you should hedge your portfolio, and like there's lots of good reasons to go short on various things if it's to protect you. You should only be allowed to do it in a way that like you are responsible for the risk you're taking, and that means that you, like everybody else, if you get it wrong and don't manage your risk properly, should be liquidated, right? That's what you deserve, whether you like it or not, right? Some people, trust me, they do like it. The market tends to give you what you want, which is why you should work on your psychology as much as you should work on your trading. Anyway, what am I fucking talking about? Lol. Oh, aye, so there's nothing in place. Right, watch it. So, what's... Nothing in place to stop them cover. We're at EID at Tradespotting. Thanks for your opinion. I plan on joining Rocket very soon. Whoop. Good plan, that, mate. I don't know if I answered your question properly, really, or not. I respect Susan Trimble a lot, and that's the work she does, and that's good. Well done. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Not partisan. Truly great. And, yeah. She's very welcome on here to talk about it if you like. I'm sure everybody would love to hear from her, and if that's what you're interested in, go for it. But you get a larger audience elsewhere, so if you're so whatever, who cares, right? I'm here available. Talk to people that are intelligent. If you've got something to say and you want to contribute, I'm happy to have you on, no matter how big or small you are. It's all about I judge people on the content that comes out of their mouth, generally speaking. Can you imagine the members, the meme funds paying? I love that. The meme funds paying if BlackRock are lending and then buying and then lending and then buying and then eventually recall their lend shares. Yeah. Is it? Yeah, like, you got it, mate. Why do you think there's shares to lend, right? Why do you think there's shares available to borrow? It's because people have bought them, right? And they've put them in funds that they want to get a return on, and so they lend them to other people who pay them money for them. But they bought them anticipating they'd go up. And if you're BlackRock and you're buying things, trust me, you're anticipating it's going up. Zig, they are surely more savvy than that. So, who are you talking to, Zig? The other side, Vanguard are big players too. They certainly are. That's an understatement, if ever. But you're not saying that. You're not saying that in that sense. Sorry, I'm being facetious and patronising you there. I don't mean to. Yeah, they are. They're huge. They control the world. In fact, themselves and indirectly. Has anyone seen any solid responses to the counter DD posted in GME Meltdown? I got banned from there, mate. I think. I was top post on GME Meltdown for ages. Saw the achievements. Looking back at all the achievements, it's fucking awesome. Have I got a counter to it? Well, I'll give you one. I'll give you one of them. Nearly everybody in there's a complete fucking fanny. The only bearish thesis that people can realistically go on at the minute is like Wyckoff distribution, and if they're doing it properly, literally everything says they're wrong, right? So like. That's my interpretation, having not read it. Right, they may have been saying other things, and if their DD that they do on there, like, doesn't include technical analysis, then like really I'm not the person to respond anyway. And if it does cover technical analysis, like, I'd be highly surprised, because they know who I am and they know that I would make them look fucking stupid if they were to try. Like, I'd love to see it. Like, what's the technical analysis for the bearish thesis that's like over and above what I've already identified in Wyckoff distribution and said how that's not actually what's going on. Like, and the truth is, it's not for me to disprove other people, right? I've would say that you won't get the best value out of me as a resource if you're asking me to disprove other people's hypothesis. You probably get the most as a community if people tried to disprove me. That'd be much better, right? Now, that the dynamics may be any way you see them with regards to who's better at whatnot or whatever, but like, I'm not really fucking interested in like reading shit stuff or doing shit stuff. Like, I've already identified I've not got that many hours a day in the day, and like, I like to put it where I can make the most impact, and that is usually in a somewhat positive force towards improving my own life, rather than like doing that shit. And if I want to help people, do it on r/Tradespotting, not get involved in fannies that spend their time in GME Meltdown. Like, why would you be obsessed with one company going down? It's like all sorts of fucking stupid ass shit I could say about that psychology. The reason they've even got it is that even place even exists is because those people want to take your, like, anyone who's long's money and that, and it's like, why do you want to take their money? They're like really desperately trying to change things properly. I don't understand. I got banned there too. Yo, brother, look. What are they like? They just fucking. I wasn't actually offensive to anyone. They just banned me because they know, like, if I am banned, as I think I am, right? A lot of places I'm banned from now, it turns out. Open and shut case, Watson. I think if you are saying basically, right, that you have to ignore the FDD's naked shorting and take the short interest at face value that's posted by the government, lol. Yeah, you have to ignore all of these other things that we've all, like, definitively proven to be true. And then, yeah, sure, there's a case to be made. Yeah, cool. James Curran, I loved my dad. There he is in chat. Ape Andy. When squeeze starts on either stonk, then the other will squeeze shortly after. So if you see the squeeze starting, then go and buy a bucket full of the other. This is not financial advice, not. Ha! Is that what Ape Andy said? There's a nice version of it, and it's my dad. I love my dad. He's fantastic, and he's going to get the train away today. So before the stream started, I quickly ran up to where he is and gave him a big hug to say bye, because I won't see him for a wee while. And also say hello to Coco, who will be collecting later today and taking back here to join me and where I am. Bloodshot Blinkers. Say it! Lol, what am I supposed to be saying? I can't remember. Jealousy. People are falling out like all over the place. And it's so silly. It's so silly. There's no need, right? There is no need. And you should put goodness out into the world where possible. But you should also stand up for yourself. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. What's up, Jamie? Yo. Friend face, make a riff hard. What's up, Jamie? Hedges dumped more crypto. Seems like they needed more cash on hand to be able to borrow more shares too short. Am I close or nah? Quite possibly, like, but it's very difficult to identify market participants based on price action, really. So it is, like, trust me. It is. Oh, sweet, a drink. Is my microphone still plugged in? I think it may be, but I have no idea. Have I done TA today? Yeah, I have done shitloads of it as it happens. Oh my god, pardon me. Right, so I don't even know what I'm still talking about or what I've been doing all day today. I just read out a question. Did I answer it? What was it? I mean, I just read it out. What was it? Did someone hear something? Is my mic working? Yes, it is. I don't know. Loose Bears, I trolled the shills and they banned me pronto. Yeah. Well, that's it, right? They for some reason they're really, really precious about this bear stasis. Like anything that threatens it, they definitely don't want to have like like I think I'm unreasonable, right? Those fucking those people are so unreasonable. It's also full of like self-hating Scottish people who like to like cringe on other Scottish people. So like I enjoyed it for a while, like cause like Simpson says Scotland's ruined by people. It's those fucking people he's talking about, and they don't understand, like they're cretins, like their badness in their hearts and that they don't understand. But it's like difficult for me to say that because I live in Scotland. One of them's likely to thump me in the face for some fucking reason at some point. Because you never know, right? When you're out walking about, living your life, you never know. Like the wankers that are out there that have got problem, and they are those sort of people. You'll get them when you get them. They need some more time to think about things. Digek says, you'll get them when you get them. But hey, Jamie, what price would invalidate the government handle GME's form? Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. Well, see, it's not about a price. Well, a closing price, sure, right? Because and when you're talking about a closing price, we're talking about a closing price on the weekly time frame, right? So you could have wicks all over the fucking shop, right? And then the weekly time frame could come back by the end of the week and close and still be a carbon handle. It doesn't make any difference, right? That's the advantage of having these long time frames and that. So they'd have to really, price would have to change and then stay changed, right? But if you are talking about this carbon handle and you're looking at it from a retrace from here or here is two different areas. Let's say you're looking at it from the wick and that, and you want that's not what I'm not looking at that. Why am I looking at that? It's not what I'm looking at. Answer this question without these drawings on the chart and just do it myself properly. You'd also be looking for things like volume to confirm that the trend had changed and whatnot, right? And along with shitloads of other things. D. Parker. D. Can I call you D? D. You'd be looking for shitloads of other things, but right, and so the pricing on its own doesn't really mean that much, though it is price action is king. So if you've only got one thing on its own, this is it, right? There's your thing, right? So there's loads of different ways. No. From this low to this wick high, you'd need to close a weekly time frame below like 174 that to be completely invalidate this. Right now this is a volatile, it's like relatively volatile. It like paints its truest picture on a weekly time frame. This GME I'm talking about, and it can see large moves that more or less return to where they started within 2 to 3 day time frame, right? So bearing that in mind, prices could go as low as 173 and close, and you would still be on for a bullish formation and that, and there still is, like, at that point I'd want to check like Wyckoff buying points and look at point and figure charts and talk about like more about potential linear progression breaks and what like that might mean with regards to like higher lows on like these sort of time frames and whatnot, and like then I would define price action from that point onwards. But like invalidating the cup and handle isn't really something to worry about, and if it is because you're worried about that, it's because you're putting an awful lot of emphasis just on the cup and handle formation, which is only really one part of so many different things. You know, the truth is like the play that started down here is what you're talking about with regards to this, and it's like that psychology of a cup and handle and across all these different time periods becomes like self-fulfilling, but because there's so many different individual aspects of price action in that, and if you were to look at it in terms of like, well, these things relative to each other and remove the x-axis and think about the range between like price moves exclusively and take that completely out of the concept of time, then like there's loads of other levels you're looking at, right? So it's cup and handles and that, and the psychology behind them. Like if you combine it with other things like that, there's cup and handles form on other types of charts, like on point and figure charts, for example. And then in order to invalidate them on that, you need like crazy ass range relative to other candles and whatnot. And like the idea that someone would be able to do it in a market conditions such as this are like unlikely that the whole bullish formation would break down. Like these are just re-entry points, I think, for most people. And like on top of that, what you would really want to be doing with this, with when I talk about Wyckoff strength and I talk about cup and handles, there's like particular reasons for that, which I can't be bothered going into. But long story short, what you really want to be paying attention to is the accumulation distribution. Like if you understand how those patterns evolve, then you'll watch my stuff last week where I talk about how that's evolving, and then the implications for it. So you want to be looking at that, right? And the indicator to use for it is accumulation distribution with markers, and you can prime that up. And again, it's a counterintuitive indicator and doesn't necessarily mean what people think it means, right? Because when people distribute their shares, right, they're distributing to people who are buying them, who want them. So where do they want them? Where is that happening relative to price action? And then what are the implications of it? And they're not immediately obvious, right? They're not just pressure price TA. So why am I talking about it like that? Because everyone who does it gets it wrong, right? So spend the time learning these things, and if you don't know where to do that, the answer is on Outcrop's YouTube channel. Leslie, right, hey Jamie, where do all the neutral orders come from? Or why do orders go in as neutral? Thank you. Neutral orders are like, you're talking about orders that don't necessarily have direct implications on price action. So there's an order on the book, right? You put in an order. There's the types of like this is the way exchanges work, right? You've got makers and you've got takers. Makers, they provide liquidity by putting orders on the order book. And then you've got takers, right? They're people who take liquidity from the order book. Take it. So you've got maker and taker. And makers may get rebate on their fees and encourage liquidity depending on the exchange and whatnot, or it may just be like a difference between the market orders, or it may not be, maybe the same, right? And I'm a fan of no rebate exchanges, right? I think that, anyway, whatever, right? This is a question about fairness and whatnot, but anyway, I think it doesn't matter what I fucking think, as it turns out. So neutral orders, well, I suspect what you mean there is you're talking about the neutrality of a limit order, how it doesn't have an effect on price action. That is to say, it doesn't have a direct and explicit implication for price action, though many people do stupidly think they can use the order book in order to predict price, which is exactly why people use it against retail, because you can't, and I typically call it the book of lies, because everything in there is a lie. Like, why would you tell everybody, like, in advance, over a long period of time, what your trades are, right? Just don't put them on the order book until such times as you want the trade, then you put it on. And do I use limit orders? Yeah, like I know a lot of people just market order because they factor it into their risk reward and it's part of the costs and that, but like I like to avoid it when I can, you know. There's no necessarily a need to. If I'm trading on an exchange that'll give me a rebate, then I'll take it, right? Because I'm patient. And then if I don't get trades, then don't mind. But I do like to put my limit orders on, like, you know, very close to when I hope they'll get taken, which means sometimes I miss out on them, right? But also I don't want to catch knives, like I'm not interested in that either. So, you know, trade the trend, plan, stick to it. Tradespotting, what would you choose for my last meal? That's a difficult question. I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to speculate on any negativity question like that, Frostcrest. But I'll tell you what I'd eat for my next meal that I'd like to eat. I'd like some sort of nice pasta or rice with loads of fresh vegetables picked this morning from some Greek island all fried up with their look of olive oil. I'd like to eat that with like some fresh bread and freshly squeezed orange juice. I'd love that. That'd be nice right now. I will, but I can't answer the last meals because like, whoa, jeepers creepers. That's like, you want it darker, don't you, Frostcrest? Unless he means, and price option thing to be neutral. Unless he means mid-price option thing to be neutral. Oh, you want a bid? Oh, a neutral order as in an order as in. Yeah, you want the mid-price. Like, are you talking about options or that? Like, you're talking, or what exchange? The mid-price. I see what you mean, right? Maybe that's the neutral order you're putting in between the bid and the ask. Well, like then, yeah, they're like that's neither on either side of the spread. You're trying to cut it in half there. And what's the difference? You're likely to get filled quicker, but essentially no matter. Yeah, there are only limit and market and neutral will be a made up thing via a broker. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not terminology I would use. Like, a neutral order in that respect might describe a limit order as being neutral with regards to its explicit effect on price action. Definitely agree on the need to live money, but my goodness, this dip though. Yeah, you don't want to be. Yeah, this dip's good, isn't it? Yeah. It's for people who want it cheaper, but I don't get it. I don't get paid for a few days, so I can't take advantage of it. But I appreciate that other people are doing. Thank you, and a glass of HF tears. Give me your tears, hedgies. I just know that when the orders are neutral, the price never goes up. Orders are neutral, the price never goes up. Wow, Leslie, I'm even more confused now that you said that. Oh my lord, the next meal is heavenly and pure. Big time. If you got a choice, right, and it tastes amazing, so. Juices for Jamie. I've got more juice. I'm a girl, Leslie Wright. My mother's Irish. Nice. Nice. Jamie, what's the crack from Ireland? Anthony Flood. Yo, buddy, how's it going? The crack is we just chilling here, mate. Like getting a bit of the old dippiness on the go. You know, we all like the old mayo, don't we? So just getting some more mayo on the go, buddy. And then like it's a Monday, so don't necessarily anticipate anything completely and utterly crazy happen yet. But it could be a good week, so we're like holding fire on that. Keeping some powder dry if we have it, so as we like catch the knees dip so good. That's pretty much that. Jamie, do you still have a positive outlook on Naked? It's had a rough week or two. I do, yeah. But I've been buying Naked since like November, so no problemo there. Like, it's usually undervalued for what's going on there, and there's no need for it to go bankrupt. It'll not happen. So like, and then the charts on it look very positive, and when it does come back, it looks like it's got really obvious levels of support, or sorry, resistance, where it's likely to test. And it's been through such fucking massive moves that people are like, oh, but could it really go to 27 from here? And it's like, man, you really don't get it if you think that's unrealistic. Like, do you see where it's come from, right? Where it's literally where it's come from. That would be nothing. On a chart, going back there's literally nothing, right? It's just your own perception when you're like, but like, this only this few dollars and that's so much more. It's like, well, yeah, but when we were saying about AMC, like Rocky and I were saying from when it was $3 going to $7, when it gets there it'll go to $9. There'll be a bit of confluence to that, a bit of reason for it to pull back, and then people will worry, and then it'll go up, it'll go to 27, it'll be there for a short period of time, it'll go up to 37, and then after that it's going to go up to 60, who knows, like high 60s, and then now we've been saying it's going to go to 109, maybe 130, yada yada yada. And so there's that there, so like you can trade that, but like with the AMC thing, like I don't particularly want to trade it because like I know that paper handing in and out of it will have an effect overall, like, and don't want to encourage it. And sure, you could just get away with it in the background or whatever, but I'm clearly not that kind of guy. I'm not really fucking interested. And if you wanted, you can play options on it and that and get rich and that. And unfortunately you can't take options on Naked. Don't think. At least I can't remember, but when I was looking at it last year, don't think you could. I think we talked about that. Anyway, it's easy, like. It's cheap as chips, and it's got a huge addressable market and that, and it's got a good connection with its got much better branding now than it had before because it's got this like kind of engagement, right? And I think anything that's like benefiting from, like anything that's like a brand that can benefit from the rebellious attitude of the people that are now investing in it and whatnot, it'll work out. And I think that there's like a good, like anything in fashion and that's got like a chance to do a lot more than what it's currently doing. When now that the apes like it, right? Like just look at unreasonable.shop. So there's like loads of reasons in that, and all they need is a smart person on board and a couple of good branding guys to add to what they're already doing. And they've got some good stuff there. Like there's a good value and underlying value in Naked in loads of different ways. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm very positive about it just based on the chart. I think like it's like risk reward on it's like not a big deal. Plus like feel perfectly capable, like fine with paper handing on that one. So it's cool. It's fine. What time is it where you are, Jamie? 4:30. It's 4:30, buddy. Team Poker is. Someone asked about Naked. Yep. Yeah, there's that. But like I don't give. I generally like I don't like. You'll notice. You don't say like buy this because it's going up tomorrow. It's not me. I don't particularly look for things to do that either. I think it's 4:30 on a Monday, June 21st, in Edinburgh. I think you're right, Frost Chris. You're good with the DD there, Tradespotting. Thanks. You're welcome, Goblin Attorney. Did I do that? Did you ask me? Did I do something there? I've no idea. Anyway, that's great, right? So I think I've finished now. Everybody seems reasonably happy. Nobody's got any particularly TA-based questions. Covered most of it. Did it in writing earlier. Answered the questions I saw. Answered all that stuff. Did I miss anything here? Ken has subscribed. Yo, welcome, Ken. Leslie super chat $5. Hey, Jamie, where did all the that was that one? Where do all the neutral orders come from, or why do orders go in as neutral? I think I answered it then, right? I think that means I've answered it. Hi, Jamie, what price would invalidate the cup and handle? Yo, D, how you doing, mate? Hope you doing good. Danger, babes. Subscribe. Yo, cool. Well, that's great. Everybody's happy, right? I think everyone's happy. I'm happy. Bit helpful there. Good. Feel like I contributed a little bit. Much lower viewer numbers since the old fallout with the old dudes over there, but whatever. Slow your roll. That's what they've done. Slowed my roll here. They've slowed the roll. Well, whatever. Those people who tune in may be getting higher value than they were before. That was my intention anyway. Up the content, up the effort. See how people do. It's been a decade and a half since I've been with Edinburgh, but I can't wait to go back. Went on some ghost tour that absolutely traumatized me as a child, thinking some catacombs below the castle. There's a lot of catacombs, so Edinburgh is like say famously terribly affected by the plague. So what we did is like here where I live, this little area, we just built over the city and have a new city and like blocked everything up and all the people who had the plague and like put bread through like the little cracks we left as we bricked up their doors. I say we, but you know there's collective responsibility. I feel a little bit, even though it was hundreds of years before I was born. Anyway, so we built a new city on top of them and that. So now you can go underneath the city and there's like loads of city underneath, and it's scary as shit. Jamie, I was really upset to go to your shop and see fanny packs and pillows for £1,700. Those prices are completely reasonable and not in line with the spirit of the shop. Raise the prices. Well, you know, I might just have to do that. I do make a big song and dance about unreasonable at shop, and you will see the odd order come up on screen, but generally speaking, that's all you see. It's not all that crazy. And nobody's buying these things. I don't know why. It's like the unreasonable prices is, for some reason, putting people off. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but some people say like, oh, bring the prices down. You could actually sell some things, and it's like, hey, you know, I'm a hodler, mate. This is a hodling whole thing. This whole thing's about hodling, right? It could reduce my prices, but what would that then say about me? Right, so you're right. Maybe I should put them up. Like £1,700 for a pillow is like a fucking bargain. And the truth is, they're only going to be so many because they are so expensive, and that's my way of doing art. And if you've got a problem with that, fuck off, right? Tradespotting, did any of the lower city get utilised again during COVID? Throwback to the good old plague days. It's all utilised for loads of different reasons, right? Now the High Court that's up there on the Royal Mile. And there's like a police station that's like halfway down it and that, and like they put people in the police station, they put them in the jail cell, and they all think they're going to get taken up and like brought to the court case and that, and they all get taken down through these fucking tunnels and like all the way along under the street and then brought up into the court. Scary as shit for them, I imagine. And you can see all that shit there on like on open days. They've got open days like it's called Open Door Day, something like that. And like all these different places are opened up, and you can go in and see them, and it's cool. Or you can just go on the tours. Tradespotting, are the ratios for corrective waves 1 to 3 and same as the ratios for waves 1 to 3 in an impulse? You're talking about Elliott wave. Are the ratios for corrective waves 1 to 3 same as the ratios for waves 1 to 3 in an impulse? No, not necessarily. Like, you're talking about the Elliott waves. That you're obviously really deep into the old Elliott waves there. Are the ratios for corrective waves ABC the same as the ratios for waves 1, 2, 3 in or 1, 2, 3 ABC in an impulse? Not necessarily, and I can't be bothered talking about like again you'll have to tune into Rocky stuff if you want to look at Elliott wave stuff. Like I don't think there's any value in spending more than like 20 minutes on Elliott wave a week. Just to confirm things, and like really like Elliott waves, like people have got this whole thing now where they're all like trying to get as good as they possibly can at Elliott wave, and it's like, well, you've heard me talk about GAN, right? There's like as reliable a thing, you know, and you could touch and learn a little bit about that. Like people get so obsessed with learning Elliott wave, right? You see this over the years. People get obsessed with Elliott waves. And they all go bankrupt. Can the prices in the reasonable ship increase by 1% every 10 minutes? That's a fucking good idea, but that would be really expensive. Like, obviously, 1 cent is better than 1%, right? That wouldn't be compounded, so I suppose that could be possible. Somebody else had the idea that we could move the buy button around so that like every time you tried to click on it, it moved. That was a good idea. So I may do that. I may do it so that there's cookies on there, and every time you visit it, the price of products goes up by a certain contribution. That's a good idea. Well, yeah, I've been doing some digging. You've been doing the digging. Trade, stop saying I talk about Elliott wave. I can't be fucked, and my analysis is always better anyway. Exactly. I'm sorry I'm dumping it on Rocky. He does good to Elliott wave, but he probably can't be fucked, right? And that is true. His analysis is way better. I'm sorry, Rocky. As you can tell, neither of us are particularly fucking interested in Elliott wave. Cosmic Lightning Warrior is keyboard or controller better for Halo 3 on the computer. He's your guy. No, Cosmic Warrior, a former professional fucking gamer from a different fucking universe. He knows exactly what he's talking about when it comes to these sort of things. He's fucking best person to ask about that, and he's also a super cool dude, and if you're needing to get pumped about anything in the fucking world, he's your man. Whoa! Is he here at the minute? How's it going, Murray? How's it going, everybody? I'll take more testing for me to hold any confident opinion, but inverted GME from peak to today's dip landed wave 5, 14 cents below today's rebound. Right, mate, just dropping by. I like you a lot, but I can tell you, you are halfway down that corridor. Right, there's this Elliott wave, right? You've heard of the 80-20 rule, right? Like, for example, you'll wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time, right? With Elliott wave, you'll learn 80% of what's useful for you in the first 20% of the effort you put in. And try to get that final 20% of what's useful, you'll have to put in the actual 80% of the effort. And I don't think Elliott wave is worth that, right? I don't, right? But sure, it works, it's useful, and knowing it's good, but I wouldn't make it a priority in learning it in my first couple of years trading. I just wouldn't, right? Sorry if I give that advice, sorry, but also like it's useful if you're doing it well, right? And there's things that will teach you in between about retracements, about thrust strength, about Fibonacci, higher lows, lower highs, divergences between things, looking at the strength of relative moves, like, right? It's good, it's awesome, but it may be better served for you have you have already learned all those things in different ways. Pardon me, anyway, this is it. Like I've said everything now. And I'm not even helping Just Dropping By Out, who I really respect, by giving him an answer that is actually useful. Instead, I'm just giving him my opinion on stuff, and he doesn't fucking care about that because he's already using it to the darn. Is it going to be a When Coco shirt? Oh, Coco should make... Coco has to feature on a shirt that I should be wearing all the time. Coco Cool. What's the code? Could do with now. How do they even code that? I'll go look. I hope it's good info. I highly doubt it. What are we talking about? Aye, Rachel, you're asking Rocky to do something over there, whereas the mods from there attacked him. So I'm sure he's like, you're asking him a big thing of him there. As much as I want a fanny pack, I need to save my money for the cosmic puking NFT. Haha. Yes, well, I mean, I advise you not to buy a fanny pack. It's only going to be the fanny pack of the century. You shouldn't really buy it, because then you'll reduce the value of those few that do eventually get souls by you having another one, and we don't want that CC. We want the value of them to stay up loads and loads, because I'm obviously going to have one. I hate the way that Twitter alert or whatever that's coming up. It's not a Twitter alert because I don't get those. It's my social profile things are flashing up there in that weird place. It's making me feel weird, and I've noticed it. Mike, all drivers can enjoy Popeye's chicken yam. Boom. Picking strategies that tend to complement each other. Awesome. Nice one, mate. I can see what you're doing with Elliott Wave then. It does fit in overall. And if you take it with a pinch of salt and just look for like just your ABCs, right? Why is everyone calling them 1, 2, 3s now? ABCs. Wait, did I just find my post-Moas career? Am I going to be a Popeyes franchise god? Post-Moas chicken tendies or me? There's a cannabis cafe in Amsterdam called Popeyes, and the guy that runs it's fucking hilarious. No bid deal at Rachel Smith. Typical super stonk stuff. Bum bum. Like, this is like when people ask me for my opinion, or Rocky asks Roy for his opinion on other people's DD. It's like not the best use of our time, really. Like, nor is it our use of our time investigating other people's validity or credibility. But we can answer questions on our own content, you know, and like you can then, yeah, like how would that be best described? Rocky's interacting or doing something anyway, so that's positive. Stonks is confirming the negative beta. The are who we thought they were. Who is they? Who is they? Who did we think they are? Who are they? Who are you? I think that is meant if we all invest into what we would like afterwards, we build the world we want. You be the volume you want to see in the world. So thanks Rachel, thanks Mike, thanks Rocky, thanks Warlock for hire. Let's brilliant. That is all brilliant. You're all brilliant people. Now I wanted to next I wanted to roll them credits. There it is. Thanks for supporting the stream. Super chats D Harker, Daniel Assange, Bad Mama Jama, Warlock for Hire, Peter Van der Val, Cachicho Valador, Jesse Cox, Leslie Wright. Thanks for all of your contributions today. It's really good. Subscribers there, loads of new subscribers. Matt, Jamie, Mariana, Gaston, Pedro. Sorry, can't read that. Brian, Mo, Mohammed, Jose, Java, Danger Babes, Ken, Doomslayers, Active Curiosity became a member. So we got a new member. Alright, go back about 30 minutes. What was I talking about 30 minutes ago? Fuck no, it's probably complete shit. So, yep. Thanks very much, right? You can hit like, you can click subscribe, you can buy me a Ferrari Aperta, you can go Unreasonable at shop and buy that poster, which is fucking art, and trust me, you buy that. It's only going to go up in value. Or don't trust me, right? It's not financial advice. And the value I'm talking about may or may not be monetarily. Thank you, Jamie. I am just your microphone. I gained sentience last week. Happy days. Only last week, fresh off the block. Alamo, stay strong, all. Yo. 200 on the money. 200 on the money. Yes, so we've talked about lower targets there. I mean, we can in front of the face of price action. We've talked about them for a while now. You know, down there. Totally cool. What we sort of, you know. Ral M. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, everybody. So there was the credits. That was quite brief. We didn't have too much to cover there. We've done everything on that front. Done everything in this front. Positive, all very positive then. And what else did I want to do here? Womp womp womp. We covered all of everything. Cool.
I go on and on and on and don't take them to the crib unless they boning. Easy, call them on the phone and stack them Chanel cologne.
You did it. Now this looks like a job for me. So everybody just follow me. Cause we need a little controversy. Cause it feels so empty without me. I said this looks like a job for me.
Bing bong, what are your thoughts on no theory that GME is lagging AMC and current GME graph replicates AMC prior to the recent 100% spike? Thanks. Bum, bum. I don't think the charts are that similar, Ari. I think the market participants are the only thing that links these two companies. Ooh, yeah. I think if you've got any doubts about what's going on, you should just buy GME. Bum 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 bum. Jump bum 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 bum. Bing bong bing. Buy GME. Bing bong bum bum bing bong. Bum bum bum. Wow. So there goes my monetization again, as you would expect. Oh, look at Jamie out here doing all this work. He's such an entitled cunt. Thank you very much, everybody. Remember, treasure hunt's still on and it's heating up. People are really going for it. They're getting somewhere too, I can tell you that. They're getting somewhere. Finally, they're getting somewhere. You guys. Anyway, yeah. So 199 spot 99 gets some sales, right? It's on the sales. You know what happens? The sales are ending, prices go down. The more they go down, the closer you're getting to the end of that sale. And you're gonna hold out and wait, right? It's a sale, right? You're gonna hold out and wait. It's a sale, right? What were you waiting for? What is this, Jock Jams? What is this, Jocks Jams? Smash that like button. Yeah, you can smash the like button. I don't know when I'll go. May or may never make a difference. Hit the like button if you want to see me do well. Thanks. Buy me a Ferrari Asperta if you want me to fucking be happy. Otherwise I'll cry into my cornflakes every morning until I get one. Look at me. I am the monetization now. Daniel, stop donating. I'm going to get off the stream. Thanks so much. I didn't mean that. That's not what I wanted. I love you guys. Thanks very much. You're all really appreciated. The birds are back and I'm sure it must be fucking fighting because no birds have sex all year, all the time. Why are they doing it in front of me and nobody can see me? Right, guys. Rocky Outcrop for the close. Daniel, thanks very much. Very appreciated, as everybody else. Like, you got loads of donations there today, and like, more than two is loads in my mind. Thanks very much.